average podcast. Sicker than your average podcast. Trying to reach your levels, but this one is top class. Eddie Nestor, I told you he's the best. Angie they'll go far cause she's a superstar. And Curtis, he's worshipped a wordsmith. When it comes to real talk, they're all my...
I know personally that your generosity extends past what you have given on the stage and screen. Many of you already know the story that Mr. Washington, when asked by Felicia Rashad to join her in assisting 9 theater students from Howard University who had been accepted to a summer acting program at the British Academy of Dramatic Acting in Oxford, he gracefully and privately agreed to contribute. As fate would have it, I was one of the students that he paid for. Imagine receiving a letter that your tuition for that summer was paid for and that your benefactor was none other than the dopest actor on the planet. I have no doubt that there are similar stories at boys and girls clubs and theaters and churches across the country where I know you have also inspired and motivated others. An offering from a sage and a king is more than silver and gold. It is a seed of hope, a bud of faith. There is no Black Panther without Denzel Washington. And not just because of me, but my whole cast, that generation stands on your shoulders. The daily battles won, the 1,000 territories gained, the many sacrifices you made for the culture on film sets through your career, the things you refused to compromise along the way, laid the blueprints for us to follow. And so now, let he who has watered be watered. There are two little kids, Ian and Taylor, who recently passed from cancer. And throughout our filming, I was communicating with them, knowing that they were both terminal. And what they said to me is, and their parents said, they're trying to hold on till this movie comes. And to a certain degree, you hear them say that and you're like, wow, that's like, I gotta get up and go to the gym. I gotta get up and go to work. You know, I gotta learn these lines. I gotta work on this accent. You know, seeing how devoted all of my castmates are, and knowing that will be something meaningful to them. But it's, to a certain degree, it's a humbling experience because you're like, this can't mean that much to them, you know. But seeing how the world has taken us on, seeing how the movement, how it's taken on a life of its own, I realized that they anticipated something great. And I think back now to a kid and just, you know, waiting for Christmas to come, waiting for my birthday to come, waiting for a toy that I was going to get a chance to experience, or a video game. I did live life waiting for those moments. And so it put me back in the mind of being a kid, just to experience those two little boys' anticipation of this movie. And when I found out that they...
Take your time with it.
Yeah, it means a lot.
Greetings and welcome. Hopefully you are all well. It's a pleasure to have you here with us again. This is hashtag no joke. Myself, Curtis and Angie, we come together each and every Sunday. This is the end of the second bunch of 6. Got some news for you moving forward. This is a bit different today. We're going to honor somebody today. Hopefully you're going to do that too on this carnival weekend. And I want you to please comment as much as you can. We read every single comment. It might not be immediately. We might not be able to get all of them up, but the boss lady comes on and she puts them up. So certainly your comments help make the show. Now, let me just tell you before we start, okay? It's a pretty serious show today, but I'm giving a yellow card to any message that says, I agree with Angie or let Angie talk, right? Yellow card, straight, no playing. Greetings, Angie. How are you? Yeah.
Yes.
Wakanda, my queen.
Come on now.
My queen.
Yes.
Yeah.
How are you, sir?
Yeah, well, I'm feeling it in a weird way, you know.
What?
This weekend would have been Michael Jackson, I think, 62nd birthday. And
That's
him,
right.
Kobe. And anyway, before we get into it,
Yes.
any of your coven that say, let Angie talk, or, you know, I agree with Angie, they're getting a straight yellow card today.
I'm calling on my sisters. I'm calling on my sisters. I'm calling on my brothers.
They are
Let
cancelled.
Angie speak.
They are cancelled. No, Wakanda can't work. You need 2 hands to do Wakanda. Somebody who's been using one hand a lot through this lockdown is Curtis Walker. How are you, Curtis?
I'm here.
Respect to you. Respect.
I'm here, my brother.
Hey,
Yeah. Hey, Rastafari Selassie. Not to you. No weapon formed against I and I shall prosper.
Shall prosper. Hallelujah.
It's gonna be that kind. Listen, I gotta tell you, I'm undercooked, right? Eddie Tata, raw today, because this is one of them days where I think we have to roll with the show, right? With the one story.
Yeah.
Please, we're gonna celebrate this young man's life, right?
Absolutely.
And all the aspects of it. So let's start, Curtis, with you and the film. You saw it. Tell me how you felt when you saw that film.
Saw it 3 times, Eddie, and I know compared to some people that's nothing. I saw it 3 times. The empowerment, the upliftment, the celebration, the excitement, the motivation, the dancing into the cinema, dancing out of the cinema, hugging people, celebrating with people I didn't even know, just for the idea of the film. Hadn't even seen it at that point when I'm celebrating.
So you're celebrating as you're sneaking because I know you ain't buying the popcorn in the theater. As you're sneaking in the theater, you're
Eddie, you get somebody to pay and they open the back doors. It's simple. You've been doing it for years. Yeah. All right.
You sound
3 times I had to do that. And I'm not the most stealth of people. It's pure. Oh, sorry, lad. What? Sorry, what? But
oh dear.
A very uplifting film in a time when we were all under a little bit of confusion about where we stand as entertainers, as performers, as actors, as dancers, directors, writers. And a movie like that just released so much for everybody.
Yeah,
even if the film was terrible, which it wasn't.
No, it wasn't. And it was
glow
very
it
complicated
gave,
story. Yes, it's a very
the glow, the pride, the you know, Wakanda. You know what I mean? It was beautiful.
Yeah,
beautiful movie.
I got you, my brother. I got you.
And there's no weaves in Wakanda. No weaves in Wakanda.
Well, hold on. I know we're gonna jump about here,
Yeah,
Angie. Hold on, Angie. We got in an argument, 2 arguments in this house yesterday. First argument, it was a little chillier than normal. I hear them talking about putting on heating, so I left the house with the fuse. So that was the first argument.
What is wrong with men and heating?
The heating can't go on in people's house in August. Yeah. So first argument. Let me tell you the second argument. Angie.
I'm writing it down.
And this feeds straight to you because it's what I think about you.
Okay.
So here's the argument in my house yesterday. The general look better with the bald head than when they should have put on the people them wig. Do you remember the general? The general had the bald head, right? Angie, don't look at me like that. You know what I'm talking about. The general put on the weave and she looked like, I thought she looked like Robbie G when Robbie dresses up as Gloria.
We're not doing this.
No,
we're not doing this. We're not doing
but
this.
But didn't she look better?
But she looked better with the body. Okay, and allow us to enjoy, to celebrate your natural beauty.
Hey, you stopped already.
What did that film mean to you, Angela?
You know, just to confirm what Curtis said, to go into the cinema and see Black as a title and feel that here we are being celebrated.
It wasn't a pejorative. It wasn't a negative. The black didn't mean something bad.
This was us. This is who we are. We're all coming together for this. Some of us were we dressed up in different costumes. We dressed up and felt comfortable, went with a family and sat back and went, that's right. That's what we've always known that we could do. Break box office, tell our story.
Yeah, but you didn't know. Hold on, Angie. Hold on, because you're running too fast. You didn't know it was going to break £1 billion box office when you went to see it, did you?
The anticipation.
That's why we went 3 and 4 and 5 or 6 times.
Yeah,
we wanted to make sure it did.
We were behind it from the note. We knew it was happening. We knew this thing was building, and we knew who was in there. We knew the team and who was behind it in front. We were going to make it win regardless. So to get there and sit there and watch it win and walk out like, what? Of course we could do this. We've always known we could do this. The pride it made us feel. I went to Uganda, and when I was in Uganda, I kept looking at the place going, my God, Wakanda.
Yeah, well, we're gonna get to that, Angie. We're gonna get
imagery.
To how it challenged your imagery of Africa as a continent.
Yes.
So look, we've please, people, please get involved. This is one where we're just throwing ourselves on it now, because this man, what he represented, that film, this moment, what he died from, when he died, the impact that he had, I didn't imagine that it would touch me like this or the team. So first, let's start with the first question. What did the film mean to you? So if you're listening, just tell me, when you watched it, what did you feel? When you heard about it, what did you feel? What did the film mean to you? Now, Curtis, let's do it in a different way now. So the film is on, it starts to make £1 billion, but this guy's a quiet guy. How did you hear yesterday, and how did you feel?
Just shocked, really. First emotion was shock. I was just, when you hear something, you think that can't be right. That must be a mistake. And with all these people doubling down on who we are and what we look like, it could have been a totally different actor. When you come to realize it's actually Chadwick, you're thinking, no way. But we're gonna get into that. But the privacy of the man, the way he conducted himself throughout the illness.
Yeah, but he knew. We didn't know. He knew. He knew.
But in hindsight, Eddie, that's how I'm talking. I thought you weren't going to interrupt today. In hindsight, and you look back at some of the films, he obviously was sick while making. You understand what I mean? That's a powerful thing to kind of sit there and go, wow. He was doing all of those movies knowing, he had this terrible disease. And I think,
when I found out,
make me watch the film. Sometimes I'm going to look back at some of his movies and think, wow. And a lot of them were quite physical as well in regards of requirements from him as an actor. Phenomenal. And just again, Eddie, just shock and sadness. And then that spills into depression, and that spills into, is it all worth it? What the hell? And those moments. And then, like we're saying,
it is interesting. Yeah, it is interesting that you say that, because obviously I went through all of that, and we're going to talk about the cancer later. Maybe we'll give you a little insight into that. But it's so interesting you say that, because you do think he did all that while he had cancer. Angie, let me read this to you. I picked off somebody's Twitter page. His wife, his family, his friends, his castmates, and the director, his Howard University alumni family, his barber, his stylist, his agent, his manager, his doctors, his nurses, his pharmacist, his accountant, his banker, his pastor, his church, and Hollywood Marvel clearly all knew what we didn't. And that brother had a circle of people around him who respected it enough to keep that private. That's phenomenal.
It's phenomenal. It is amazing. And you know what is really important is that there's a message here, a really important message. When I was lying in my bed with my husband and he just went, oh no. And so this year has been full of, oh no.
Sorry.
Depending on where you are throughout this year, don't go there. Depending on where you are throughout this year, right? Hearing news of death has been through the year. So sometimes we pick up the phone and the first person who gets the phone might see something first and you just go, oh God, no. Then I said, who is it? Who? I said, is it family? Do I know them? You know, you just go through that list of tell me. And when he told me, I just went, oh, no. And I remember saying, how can we keep waking up to heartbreak? It's like we wake up to pain. And then I started to really look into everything about him. And then I said, I get it, God. I get it. His purpose is complete. His purpose, It's done. We come to do something and then we go. It's done. It's finished. My good and faithful servant, you have done what you're supposed to do. And the team that he put around him is a lesson for us.
Isn't that interesting? Because
who we put around,
I was left with the feeling of how sad, because I think he had so much more to do. I think his journey was just beginning.
Not at all. When you look back on his work, you're starting to read about the things he said. You're starting to look about the work that he's done. Now you wouldn't see it when he's alive. There's so many lessons to learn. His message about what he said earlier with Denzel Washington. How many of us are going to learn from that today? The shoulders that we stand on. Complete. Put your circle together. Get the right people around you that will hold your story and shut up and support you in quietness. We didn't need to know. He had the right team around him. It's fantastic.
And that's a mark of the guy, because you are who you move with. You are, you know that old saying?
Tell me who you frequent, I'll tell you who you are.
Tell me your parents. Our parents.
I know your mum used to say, Eddie, to your friends.
Show me your friends, and
still hanging around with you, unfortunately.
Only on Zoom, brother. Only on social.
Yeah. And that's
the problem. There. I don't want to see you.
No.
Sorry, Anne.
We're not doing that today, guys.
I'm afraid it's going to be one of them sticky shows today, and you better
because you're going to end up making me cry, man. We have to mix it up because I was saddened because I hear you, Ange. I hear you. But I believe that brother was just beginning to find what his power in affecting change was going to be. He was an individual that knew his mind very early on. If you listen to some of the audios of his meetings about the auditions and when he would ask questions at the audition stage, which is a dangerous place to ask questions. Let me finish, Ange. It's a dangerous place to ask questions at the audition stage, you know, because you ain't got the gig yet. And then he'd get the call saying, oh, we've gone another direction. Because he want to know, where's my character going? Where's my character from? You know, because I don't just want to play a drug dealer or a guy who's going to shoot somebody in the head. I need to know, why is he that person?
But
and that's the question at the audition.
Can you see what you're saying? He's saying that it wasn't dangerous for him. He's saying, even at that point, he had enough faith to know that when you hear this story back, you will hear the story differently. Because some people just know their calling. Some people just know their purpose early. He did. And
but my point was,
you're both right.
Those people around him, if you're telling somebody, I'm sick, but I don't want the world to know, the people you're telling that have your trust because you're that guy. Like you're explaining, Angie, he was that guy. He's not going to surround himself by idiots. You know, he's got people around him who he can trust because he's a straightforward guy, an honest guy who leads with his heart. And that's the people you'll have around you. So they would feel like they're betraying him if they ever uttered words he didn't
Listen, I was going to get a bell, you know. It's only true that we're doing this subject today. We've got to stay within the band.
When Eddie got sick, he couldn't stop talking about it. telling
I'm
everybody.
I'm going to tell
Phoning.
you a story about what
All right,
Curtis
Eddie,
did when
put
I
your
got
socks up, man.
right.
You're crying on the phone.
So talking about people with good hearts, let's get the boss on to see some of the messages that
Well done.
are coming through. Because me and Curtis are going to fall out today. I know that. I can see that already. Greetings to you, boss.
Good
Hi,
afternoon,
Lisa.
Ace team.
Hello, Lisa. You look
Angie, you are
beautiful.
looking.
Wow.
Thank you. But Angie, I must say, Queen Wakanda.
Come on now.
They're loving you in
Hey.
the comments, Angie. You look like a
Hey.
queen.
Come on now.
Good afternoon to the lovely listeners at home. Wakanda, hope you're having a wonderful evening.
Yeah.
What happened?
I don't know. See,
And-
what happened is because
Hey,
She's back.
Yeah,
I'm
okay.
back. Sorry about that. Amanda Perry says an immense loss to the world, an intelligent, dignified, influential Black king. Sean says a real superhero who has left an amazing legacy. Killermanlicious has said it made us walk tall and proud, talking about Black Panther. Diane has said the film was powerful, it showed strength in unity. Pauline said it was majestic, royal, awesome, and empowering. And Sheba has said the beauty of Black Panther was that it placed Black people in the future being powerful as opposed to only depicting our traumatic past. I thought that was a lovely text. Don't forget, please big up our sponsor, Jill from Travel Counsellors. Please like her Facebook page. Also, Island Flavors, healthy Caribbean food to take away, including vegan food. And the special section, please send in your questions for Eddie, Angie, and Curtis. You can ask them any questions you like relating to the show. Please put a love heart in front of it so I can pick up the comments because we've got loads coming in. Don't forget to like, hashtag, and share.
Hold on. Before you go, what did Black Panther mean to you?
Wow. I mean, we went as a family with the 2 kids. We all dressed up. It was amazing to see the cinema packed. It reminded me a bit of Girls Trip. It was an outing and it was great to see so many Black people in positive and negative roles, but great for me that we saw powerful Black women and not Black women that just looked like your average Black woman in films, light skin, straight nose, small lips. They had short hair, they were dark skinned, and it showed that pretty came in all shapes and sizes, and it just sent out a positive message. I felt proud to be Black.
And who were you in that film?
Lupita, principled, independent,
Baba, you
honest.
can go there. Baba, yeah. Thank you very much. Yeah.
Who was you in the film?
Me, I'm. You know who I am. With my vibranium, I'm the king to chat. Angela Bassett is there, and
Yes.
Killerman, whoever the light skinned brother who's unhappy, jealous, bitter,
We're all there.
and that's Curtis.
Oh,
Curtis.
okay. I'll see you later. I'll leave you lot to that. Bye-bye. See you in 20.
Bye-bye. It's gonna be like that, isn't it?
We're all in it.
I think, Curtis, I've got to tell you the truest word. I did bar yesterday. And I was absolutely certain that this speaker of truth, Angela Marr, was not going to take me to that place today. I can't. I don't want to. And also, it's a thing about consciousness about the pod itself, because we deal with a lot of issues and sometimes it gets quite intense. And actually, if we could try and turn it around and look at the glass as half full in terms of celebrating his life, because and some of the things that come from it. I want you to take a look at a guy who I've come to admire. His name's John Amici. He's a British guy who went to play in the NBA, and you know how tough that is. He wrote a book. It revealed stuff about his personal life, which isn't pertinent to this, so I won't talk about it. I think he's a psychotherapist now. I do want to talk about death because we have to speak the truth. Take a listen to John Amici.
My mother once told me a really strange thing. It was when my grandmother died. And she told me that you have to rejoice in the pain that you feel at someone's passing, because the magnitude of the pain is equal to the magnitude of the impact that that person has had on you.
Yeah.
Deep, right?
Deep.
I
Yeah.
saw it and I thought, wow, I don't know what to make. Let me ask people older than me. Angie, what do you take from that?
You know, the thing for me, I'm not going to get into it with you today, Eddie, because thanks for coming to my school. The thing is, for me, it's absolutely that. You know, when somebody has had such an impact on your life, that's hard, because you think, I don't want you to go. That I can only talk for my dad, who died of cancer. That feeling that you feel is so profound that you actually have to go, it's okay. It's okay. It's time to go. I lost my dad at 82, and I had plans for him to be going to 100. I had plans to go and be in Jamaica and nurse my parents and be this daughter and do all of those things. And it came too soon for me. So when it was time to go, I remember praying in my room in Jamaica and saying, God, either you cancel the cancer or you take him. Why you do this?
Oh, man.
Well, take time, man. Take your time, baby. Breathe it out. Breathe it out. My father died about 8 years ago. And the difference is the family I come from, I cried hard at the funeral in Jamaica. Same kind of story as Angie. They went living their dream. And my father passed. He lived with cancer for about 8 years, prostate cancer. He lived with that for about 8 years. And actually, what took him out was pneumonia in the hospital. He contracted pneumonia, and that's what finally took him away. At the funeral, right? This is my family. All right, Angie, I wish I had my family. At the funeral, I cried. And to this day, my family still tease me about how I'm bawling. Oh, you're going to cry about it. Oh, look, he's going to cry again. That is the family I come from. And with that is our humor, and that is how we kind of deal. Because my father was my hero, come to realize that, was my hero. And it's like in the clip you just showed, there's strength in the tears. There's strength in the tears. There's courage in the tears. And you mustn't be afraid to express those tears. I learned that very late in life. But nothing wrong with expressing the tears. But out of that, with my family anyway, humor is how we have dealt with a lot of the tragedies that have befallen us in our lives, as in many people's story. But humor is so powerful in our house. And
that's the thing.
People might find it kind of blunt and inappropriate, but that is how we stay mentally stronger. It is what we do. And it's not for everybody. I'm not advocating it for everybody, but that's what we do, you know?
I think for myself, if I could add to that, my dad was the funny one in the family. That's where we get the genes from. And I remember my dad just sort of like he was in Hargreaves Hospital and in Mandeville. And I used to take my mum to see him, then drop my mum back to Maple, then go back to Hargreaves Hospital to sit and watch him sleep. And my dad used to be praying at night, Lord, take me, Lord, take me, Lord, take me. And one day I woke up and I said, stop asking God to take you. When he's going to take you, he's going to take you. And he goes, you better get used to it. I'm going home. And it was at that point I realized that is death, isn't it? There is a final place that we have to come to, and we have to accept it. And that's how I started to hold the memories. The memories are just as strong now. And that helps.
What about you, Eddie? Did you ever mourn your father's death properly?
Yeah, I think so. I think there's guilt around it because I promised him I was going to come and see him on the Monday, and I didn't. And he died on the Tuesday. He wasn't sick. And so there's a lot of guilt around it. So I find listening to you to really compulsive because I realized that there's a lot of guilt around a lot of the stuff that I'm going through. I had cancer. I had Hodgkin's lymphoma in 2007. And help me, his name's just gone. Sexy Cinderella. He sang that song, British artist. Somebody would tell us in the group.
Oh, yeah.
Lyndon
David Hall.
Lyndon died of Hodgkin's lymphoma in the same year. And every time, you talk about your dad, and obviously we're talking today. Every time I hear somebody die of cancer, I think, why am I still alive? So a lot of the hang-ups I've got with, I think, go back to the cancer. Yeah, it's for him to do those movies. I think he did 9 or 10 movies while he had it.
And where you're lucky, Eddie, is because only the good die young.
Well,
so
here's the thing now
about
here's the thing about your humor, which is really interesting. So I don't know if you know this, but there were big arguments around my group about you. So when I had cancer, and I decided, as you say, to be public with it, because I think that there's a lot of people around me that I know who have it and who have had it, and it is absolutely, like Chadwick, their prerogative to decide how they're going to deal with it. But I also know, like mental health, it is one of those things that if you don't talk about it, it becomes a taboo and nobody knows how to deal with it. So I'm happy to do that. Anyway, Malcolm had cancer. Malcolm Fredericks, who used to be Beastie in No Problem. And there was a benefit for Beastie, who you know very, very well, both of you, Angie, from Get Up, Stand Up. So Malcolm was sick and he sadly passed away this year as well, I believe. Was it last year now? Because I lost my months. Okay, so Malcolm passed away, and Malcolm, when he was alive, was at the tricycle, and there was a benefit for Malcolm. And one of the people performing at that benefit was Curtis Walker. And Curtis Walker, and basically I think Robbie found it hilarious, and Sarah and the boss wanted to take something and dig it through your nose. And Curtis went on stage. Now, remember, Angie, I've got cancer, so we don't know whether I'm going to live or die. He goes on stage and to an audience says, listen, I'm really sorry about Malcolm. Malcolm is a good person, not like Eddie. Eddie's horrible. I always knew something bad was going to happen to him. Now, that's when he doesn't know whether I'm going to live or die. Now, to me, that helped me through some of them chemo things because I laughed. I actually said to him one time, I almost wish I died just to see how it would make you feel. But we do have this gallows humor. Angie, you're pretending that you don't know it, but you definitely
I qualify that, Eddie, if I might, is that when I heard about you, I bought like a baby, That's my reality. That's between us, right? But, well, not anymore. But you didn't know that. Nobody knows that. But it hurt me. It hurt me a lot when I heard your news. It hurt me a lot. And like I was saying earlier, this is how I deal. It's not, it is a bit of malice because I don't like you. So I was angry at myself for crying. Why am I letting this little short, horrible person get me in that place? Get me up in my feelings. You understand? That's why I was angry at myself. I let myself down.
No,
there are people watching this going, are these people mad? We are.
Well, you see, the thing is, right, even when you, Eddie, you were going through the difficult time, and I hope you collected my jokes that I used to send to you, because, I sent some lovely jokes, and I used to think to myself, what would happen if you died? That feeling, don't know what's happening there, that feeling of losing somebody that you've journeyed along the way with is a very difficult feeling and a difficult thing to accept. We felt it with Felix Dexter. That was difficult for us. That was emotional for us because it's one of your peers that you've been at the beginning with at the end of their life. And that's a difficult thing to go through. So I understand why you use dark humor as well, Eddie, Curtis, because you have to go to that dark place to find the humor as well. And
plus, when you're kind of, for your own state of mind, I find it's everybody's different. Everybody's different, It's like I made a decision early in this year not to, because I had some people pass away soon after each other. So I kind of was always reluctant to go funerals, as I'm sure a lot of people are. But I've made a decision not to attend. This year I haven't attended, even during, I know we're not allowed to during the COVID times, but prior to that, I went to one and that was it. I said, I'm not doing anymore, because emotionally, I find it very difficult. And I'm there, and there's people who are there for the food and the drink. And you're thinking, well, why have you, when you go graveside and there's less people at the graveside than there are at the reception. Some of them are waiting at the reception.
And the night.
What's your motivation then? I understand the elderly, you can't do the graveside. But when I see people younger, fitter and stronger than myself, why aren't you at the graveside? Went to a dear friend years ago. Bev's father passed. Bev and Paulette's dad passed, Mr. Randall. And I'm a traditionalist, so I'm there. And where we come from, you dig the grave. That's how I was raised. You take a shovel and you dig. I know a lot of people ain't in it like that, but you dig. And a man comes supposed to tap you out on your shoulder, and then the next person comes in. Yeah. And he just hands over. Angie, I dug a 12-foot grave by myself.
Oh.
By myself. And it made me realize traditions, and I felt so disappointed in us as a community culturally. We're letting go of certain things that for me is like therapy.
Can I say something to you, Curtis, about
Of course you can.
My brother died this year. Robert died this year of cancer. And I couldn't go because there was COVID in my house. So I've had a lot of time in my house this year, more time than I've ever had. And I would say to you that I can't tell you that your lived experience is wrong or that whatever, but I would say you got to do, well, this is how I've reasoned it. I've got to do what I think is right now. And if I govern my actions by what I see other people doing, oh, they did that, so I'm going to do that, then it doesn't make me happier. Honestly, I've tried both of them now. I've tried the moody, spiteful, angry. I've done it all my life. Do you know what I mean? And actually, knowing, look, this is what I can do. This is what I can cope with. This is what I feel good about. This is what makes me feel good. I think for me now, that's the way forward. And I would urge you to just think about it. Anyway, I'm not telling you what to do. You're a big man, but to think about it. Angie, a question about yesterday, because we spent all our time arguing in this house, as you probably worked out. But I talked about Michael Jackson, Princess Diana. This year, we've had Kobe, who, unless you're into sport, it won't mean anything to you. But if you're into sport, that's at the level just under Muhammad Ali that's passed away. I just don't know why this guy's death has touched me in this way. Angie, help me to understand.
I think that because we have watched so much of, there are people in this entertainment field, so we know them a little bit more. We understand the journey. We spoke about going to see the movie. We spoke about looking back at some of the things he said. And the things that he spoke about really is touching, and it's profound, and it makes us check ourselves, because we're at a time where we're now having to look at ourselves. COVID started that. Then Black Lives Matter enhanced it. So now we're really seeing people go. And I tell you this now, we ain't seen death yet. This is a time right now in season when a lot of things are going to flow away. Seasons
are about a spike.
Not just a spike, but you're going to see a lot of people dropping off. You're going to see a lot of people moving away and going. And it's going to surprise you that the people that are going to go. We look at people who we love and adore and admire and think they're going to live forever. But what his death has shown us is, where are we? He spoke about standing on shoulders and Denzel Washington, paying it forward, and what you watered will be watered. We need to check ourselves through life now and go, who have we helped? When our children say to us, when Black Lives was happening, Black Lives Matter was happening, what did you do? Because we got to answer that. We got to be a part of the movement that said, well, I did this. He turned down that role. He questioned roles. Many of us have done that. We all spoke this week about shows that are coming up that we're going, no, we're not doing that, or we're doing that, or why they're doing that. We all know what's going on. We know the shoulders that people that stand on our shoulders. We know when we've been undermined. We're here fighting the power, right? Right now, Eddie, Curtis, myself. And we know that there's other people who are in this entertainment world who are benefiting from the power, the fight that we are fighting today, right? So there's this thing that's happening right now in the universe, in the world right now, where we're checking ourselves. And what Denzel Washington did was an example. How many people have we helped in this entertainment? How many people stand on our shoulders? I'll never forget this story, and I'm not going to call no names. I've been doing stand-up comedy courses for a long time. I gave this young lady a chance to do it. And I said to her, you don't have to pay me. Don't pay me. Just do it, because I want you to learn what I learned. When I sat and watched once, this woman was on television doing an interview, and they said, who are your favorite comics? And she sat there, she said, Whoopi Goldberg, Dawn French, Victoria Woods. And I stupidly thought she might say me. I stupidly thought, and I went, wow, so we're going on. You still owe me for that course, but it's okay, cool, go on with your thing. The fact of the matter is, I had to check myself and say, what's that about, God? And God said, you don't do things to take and tell, you know? My mum always used to say, when you do something for people, no, take it, tell them.
That's it, man. Not take it, tell them, Angie. Let it go, man.
But no, it's not even, no, I'm just telling you.
It will take you down, Angie.
I know.
It's
I'm
my
telling
biggest
you.
thing. Do things because it's the right thing to do. You
And
don't
because
do
you
things
want to, because it makes you feel good.
No,
Yeah,
guys,
because the thing is, you do
listen,
something,
guys, listen,
and then you get vexed.
No, you need to listen to me on this one. You hear
Yes,
me?
okay.
You're
Let
gonna
Angie
have to
talk.
listen to me, because this is a part of this. This is a season thing that we're in, whereby we're paying it forward, and we say thank you. Be grateful that somebody who took the hit for you is allowing you to.
Who
go
are you
forward,
grateful
and you
to,
can't-
Angie?
Who am I grateful to?
Yeah, let's do that.
I'm grateful for so many things. You know who
Who?
I'm really grateful
No,
for?
I didn't say what. I said who.
Okay. Decima Francis, director, when I was young at the Albany Empire, said, Angie, the power's in the pen. Write it. And that's it. Malcolm Fredericks for giving me Get Up, Stand Up. Ellen Thomas, Trevor Etienne for Larrington Walker for Afro Sax. We used to go to Afro Sax like it was our black RADA. Look how many of us have come from Afro Sax. It was powerful. So those are the shoulders that I stand on, and I don't wrong to say it. But
Angie, can I ask Eddie the same question? Eddie, who are you thankful for?
My inspiration doesn't come from acting, so you know, I was just happy.
So nobody, is that what you're saying?
Well, I mean, can you let me finish? I thought you were going to interrupt me this week.
Listen, Curtis, what are you doing?
I got it. Way. I look to people differently. I was always into politics. I wasn't really an actor. I'm not really a comedian or a DJ or anything. I am a talker. I like to talk, and so I like people to do things. If you're looking at contemporary history, Lennox Lewis is a hero of mine. Lennox came from Hackney. His mother sent him to Canada because he couldn't behave himself. He came back. When he came back, he started to put money into a college in Hackney to help people that look like him. That's the kind of guy that I personally like. I had two black teachers. They're the only two exams that I ever passed in my life. One is Mr. Pete. I know he's still alive. One is a man called Keith Ejegbo, who went on to run a series of schools in South London and then was knighted. So if you're talking about outside my mother and father, those are the people that I personally looked at. And you, Kurt? And you, Kurt?
Nobody.
Can you see the defense, Angie? Can you see?
Yes, I can.
Can you see it?
You know
He just
what?
blocks
I'm going to be honest. And let me tell you something. You two, when I was a kid, you two.
Here he goes.
You two, I looked up to you guys because I thought when I'm that age, I want to be just as articulate as. I didn't make it, but it was always an aspiration of mine.
I want you to tell me a story.
Let me finish, Eddie.
No, because you're not being serious. I want you to be serious.
I am being serious. So because I say you two were inspiration to me, that's not serious. Nobody's ever said that. I don't want Angie going on another show and cussing out and never big go up. There it is, Angie. You've been an inspiration to me.
Very good. No, Case, I heard a story. I heard a story about you once.
Oh.
You've never told me this story.
Oh, don't tell him that. He'll just credit him.
You might get upset with me for telling this story. But when I heard the story, I thought, wow. Can you tell me again, in terms of inspiration and a moment in your life, about when you were working with Maya Angelou and Oprah Winfrey, and that night, and what happened to you when you came back that night, after that night? Do you mind, or is that too deep?
I'm not 100% sure what situation. I spent a lot of time with Maya Angelou. Socially, you're talking or at work?
Telling any story you want about how a young Curtis needs to focus himself and think about what he's going to do. You tell me.
Oh, God, yeah. All right, I got you now. I got you. So, yeah. So, auditioned for a play called Moon on a Rainbow Shore, which was performed at the Almeida Theatre in Islington and was being directed by Maya Angelou. As a child at school, I read a lot of Maya Angelou's work. She was, in regards of picking up a pen and writing and being creative, was a great inspiration to me. God is good. It's for you, Ange. I got the chance to meet her, right? Not only did I meet her, I did an audition for her, performing some of her poetry. And everybody said, oh, don't be silly. That's really going to be disrespectful. They didn't get it. I got it. Anyway, I got the part. Because of my lifestyle at that time, was unable to perform the play. Rehearsed it and got into some violent situation and got injured. I got stabbed and all manner of things happened to me prior to the actual opening night. Went along as a injured, limping along and bandage around me to the opening press night. Maya Angelou comes out of the theatre. Where's Curtis? Where's Curtis? She's about 6'4". Where's Curtis? And she's looking for me. I'm like, wow. People are looking at me like, why is she looking for this kid? Why does she want to? She calls me out of the bar area. I was young. I always knew where I belonged. Called me out of the bar area, took me around to back of the theatre, and there is Oprah Winfrey and Stedman standing up there out in Islington. And I've gone over. At them time, I didn't really 100% know the Oprah that we met that time. She was a big star, but America never could afford cable, so treated her with respect as I do all women. We went for a little social over the road to a restaurant. Me, Oprah Winfrey, Stedman, Maya Angelou, and Ishmael, my partner and best friend at the time. We spent an evening socializing. Oprah leans over to me now and says to me, this is what Eddie was going for, I think. You have to decide which way you're going to go. And I'm looking at her thinking, sorry, you have to decide which way you're going to go. Now, what she was referring to was she don't understand. I was embarrassed at the time. She obviously heard that I've been trying to live a thug's life badly and blew an opportunity. That's what the reality was. I blew an opportunity to be in a play there. But it was a line in the sand for me. It was a moment in time for me. It was what I needed somebody to say to me. And it did. And it sounds cliche. It did make me focus more. And then, funny enough, Maya Angelou went on a show called Wogan. And they're talking much like we're talking now. And he asked her, has she experienced many things in London, in England? And she mentioned our names. Curtis and Ishmael are a double act. They do comedy. They're fantastic. Oh, you've got to see them. Bearing in mind, she'd only seen us as actors, hadn't seen us perform yet. Then my phone starts blowing up from BBC people. Well, we really want to talk to you. Is there any chance we can? And it just, that was the start of what became a positive TV career, you know? After that, she came to gigs. Maya Angelou came to gigs and sat down at in Battersea Town Hall watching me and Ishmael do what we did. But and this is our reality. This is the foundation. As you're saying, we stand on shoulders. We all, you know, that was a powerful thing for us. So when you see me with my chest high, it is not accident. But as you get older, you get jaded and you get disappointed because we're always looking back. We're talking about the film today, Wakanda. How many years since Sidney Poitier makes that impact on the movies? How many years between that? How many years between Real McCoy, which was, I'm not just saying because we were in it, but it was a groundbreaking show. How many years passed until we're debating another TV show? How many years passed till we're looking at a movie that, because of its uniqueness, becomes freakish? Black people working together in a film? One white person in that film.
Yeah, but hold on. Let's just take a moment, Kurt. That's a beautiful story you just told.
It's a fantastic story.
Curtis, man.
Come on now, my brother.
Come on. Just take a minute. That is a story. And, I know what it brings up, because it brings up all sorts of other things, and you've called names in there that we're not going to go into. But just take a moment, Kurt, for me, and know that had that thing not happened in your life with those people, you may be a different person. Your path might have been similar to another person's path. It might have been very different. So don't fight that, my brother. I know that we do the joking and the blocking. I'm a bloke. I know it. But
but
it's a story.
You're trying to... No, I'm not blocking
I'm just telling you it's a story.
No,
I'm
not
on to
blocking
something else.
But
give me a chance to absorb.
I'm just that person that I'm not going to push it out there unless I'm asked. It's not something... It's my heart, it's my mind, it's my feeling, and I know it's there. I know it's there.
And you know what?
Sorry.
But to be able to say, Curtis, that there's so much about you that we don't know, and or understand. And for three of us here, it's opened up. I was looking at some old pictures the other day of us back in the day. We're going back over 25 years of being on the circuit, and I'm like, there was pictures of just you, me, and Eddie, and there was some of John Simmer. And I looked at it and I thought, look at that time, for us to be here for such a time as this, to be able to be sharing, that somebody would say to me, you guys must know each other to be able to cuss each other like that. And I said, we actually do. We've traveled and journeyed along, but hearing your story is so inspiring. Do you know what I mean? Because I know you work hard, Curtis. You've been at this, you've been grinding for so long. We've all been grinding and we love it. So I just want you to know, respect, bruv. That's it.
Thank you.
And that's the thing that I've come late to, Angie, which you've been on from day one, which is I am going to tell people I love them. I am going to say that you are fabulous at what you do. Because I used to just joke about it all the time. And I used to think, I'm that kind of guy who fancies the girl and who spends his time insulting her because he doesn't really know how to say it in any other way. But we've got some of the, I was reading the Twitter comments to Chadwick, and I'm like, wow, just the love that comes to him.
What will they say about you? What will they say about you?
Whoa, Angie, come on. There's no need to cuss him now.
No.
Let's wait.
No, honestly. What this has told us, told us in this season is, what will they say about me? I was talking to my family last night. I had kids over and grandkids over, and we're just talking. And I said, let's talk about death. We're talking about death. And I said to my son, when you go, when I'm my funeral, make sure you put outside, sold out, because to the very end it must be sold out.
It must be a show.
And then they get like, oh, but we must talk about death. My mum told me what she wants to be buried in. She's told me, right, this is the bit for the eulogy, because you're going to be so devastated, you're not going to get it right.
Yeah, nice.
I did my dad's. I got to tell you, it ain't easy, because you're there, and somebody in our family decided to have the coffin open. So I'm standing there and I say, it's not, I think Curtis was there. It's not an easy thing to do. When I was sick, I said to my mum, I want Rock of Ages. I want I'll Fly Away. And my mum got really upset. Don't tell me that. People not supposed to bury their children. Their children supposed to bury them. I don't want to talk to you about that. She got really done.
And you know what's important as well, Eddie, is to find out our story. I remember sitting on the veranda with my dad, and one day my dad was telling me so many things. I was just writing it. This was about 2 years before he died. When I came to write his eulogy, let me tell you, I wrote that eulogy like it was an Oscar performance of a piece. When Travis read it, I sat there and I was like, that's right, my dad. No one ain't gonna not know what he did, what he stood for, who he was. So really find out from your family, what do you want me to say? And also what you said about the Twitter, what will people say about you? How many people have we watered? Like, how many people have we paid it forward to say, I helped you in your career, I started you, you blessed. Oh, this is how we come to live. That's why we're here.
You know what, Angie? I'm not looking for that from people you help, you know. I always, in my heart, I feel good if I see them achieve and get where they're going. But I really ain't looking for nobody to turn back and say, I thank you on that, because you do it. I do it. You do it for you. I do it for me because I want you to do well.
I know. It's like when you give to the poor. You give to the poor and say here and walk away from that. You don't give. When I see people filming themselves giving to the poor, I think, why would you do that? What I'm talking about is when Denzel Washington heard Chadwick thank him for the money that he paid forward without even knowing that he did that, but to be able to stand on shoulders and say thank you is important.
Well,
so that
I remember Alicia Rashad as well, because she was the one who told Oscar, so we better bigger. Now that's a thing that apparently rich people are doing, influential people are doing, and I'd really like to get into. So what you would do is you would help somebody and you would say, look, I'm going to do this for you, right? And the only thing I want you to do is you do it for somebody else.
Yeah,
does that make sense? And that's beautiful to me.
But this is what we do. In any production that I work on, there's somebody there that's there just to learn and just to whatever. And I say to them, whatever happens, do this for somebody else. So if I brought you in an assistant director or whatever, learn from me, but make sure you do it to somebody else. That's
right. Oh my
that is the
Look
thing.
at the time. Hold on. Let's get the boss on. Boss is only going to get to come on twice. I just seen the time. Sorry about this, everybody.
Well,
We're get carried away in our feelings. Boss lady, let's do everything, yeah? Because me and Curtis are just about hanging on. I know and he knows. Nobody else needs to know. Right. First of all, what messages are coming in?
Well, first of all, Curtis, you've got enough love for telling your story. Tola said, thank you for sharing. You have no idea who you might be inspiring. We need to do this more. It was a very powerful memory. Heather says, I see so much trauma, but thank you all for your honesty and turning up every Sunday. Enough respect to you all. Paul Lawrence says, the main thing I learned when my mum passed was that there is no way to respond. Just do you. Philippa says, we as Black people need to stop this nonsense that our men aren't able to cry. That's why there's so much anger. Vonnie has said, we learn to live with the pain of our loss and we keep the great memories. And Stephen has said, death should not be a taboo subject. Thank you for your comments, guys. Keep them coming in.
Don't go anywhere yet. I'm going to let you go for 5 minutes and then see if there are any questions. If there's a single question pertaining to something that we've done. There's a single question,
which is great for all of you. You can all have an answer to this. John Williams, I could give you a quick one if you want.
Yeah, no, let's do it, because I could see the time. I was going to ask what our favorite Black film was, but so if people can remember and send those in. Sorry, I messed up the time completely today. I apologize. Go on, boss.
Okay, John Williams says, for each of you, who do you think should take up the role of Black Panther, or do you think they should make General Okoye become the Black Panther?
Okay, can I go first? Because as the boss will tell you, we had this in the house yesterday. So we make stuff up in my house and we were working it out. So we watched the beginning of the film again. Now, if you watch the beginning of the film, the spaceship comes in and the kids are down there playing basketball, and then they see it. you could do that again, so that he had a baby, him and Lupita, and this baby grows, and Wakanda, because it became known by the other countries, became subsumed. But they found another piece of vibranium, and they were building up again with this new Black Panther.
Pink Panther.
No, Black Panther. I don't know. It'd be really hard to see somebody do that role, I think. And they would have to find a way to make it respectful. Angie, sorry.
I don't know. I have no idea. I can't think right now who would replace that role. Unless it's Curtis. It's Curtis. It's clearly Curtis.
Is there an actor for you, Curtis?
No, it's going to be hard. That's a hard,
leave it.
Hard one. Like you said, the way you're explaining it, the story can kind of evolve, and you know, the prince or the king is passed on to the prince. That would make sense to me. But as an actor, as an individual, right now, I'm grieving, so I'm gonna let that stand for a little while.
Yeah. Let me just ask the final question to everybody. Starting with you, boss lady. Is there a film, a black film or film involving black politics or black characters that apart from Black Panther, that really stands out for you?
I loved Girls Trip. It was just fun. It had 4 female
took
characters.
a lot of money. Took a lot of money,
and it wasn't necessarily a black film, but it could have been anybody that could have been cast in it. But the fact that there was 4 great actresses in a film that was fun, powerful, that was a great. I've seen that so many times. Like Black Panther, it goes up there as one of my favorites this year.
And 3 grapefruits, right? Sorry,
that was the best. Oh, that guy could play Black Panther. He could play it. Thank you.
God bless you. Take it easy, boss.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Have a lovely week. Bye-bye.
Right. Angie, you go then. What is there a film, a black film?
For me, it's the color purple.
Until You Do Right by Me.
All my life I had a fight. All my life. That's my film. Whoopi Goldberg, Oprah Winfrey, telling a story, and just Alice Walker. Just that was a powerful turning point for me, that our stories as black women are important to be told. And I won't ever go off that line, that our stories are important and that we collect it and we leave it there. And whatever happens to it, happens to it. But you will know we were here.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's what was great about Black Panther, because the women weren't there just to serve men. They were powerful, intelligent, articulate. So it took it to a whole
but it was a movie. So,
well, what's yours then?
5 Heartbeats. Robert Townsend, 5 Heartbeats, my favorite film ever.
Yes,
that's a great film.
Yes, well done. Well, I forget about that film, but it is a very, very good
big
film.
movie in our house, boy.
Yeah,
Love it.
Yeah, very, very
good. Eddie Kane. You can't beat Eddie Kane.
You know the thing, Eddie, I know we're out of time, but I really do feel on my heart to stress that we are living on purpose, you know, and sometimes we don't know what we're here for. And Chadwick is a complete example. Go back and watch his films, go back and watch his speeches. He knew he was on purpose. And, you know, sometimes we've been young and we have a vision of who we want to be. You know, I know that you may mock or think religious, whatever, but in the Bible it says, write the vision and make it plain.
Think it into existence.
Complete. The other, you know, people will write it and take away the Bible principles, but it's there. But you have to walk by this faith that we have, which is, I believe I can do this. And this is what, even in his sickness, Chadwick was saying, I know I've come to do things. You know, God gives us this gift. And when people say, what is your purpose? And what is success? When you've worked out what your purpose is, and you've worked out what you wake up loving, wanting to do, when you do that, you are existing in the purpose that God gave you. Because the Bible says your gift will make room for you. I make people laugh. That's my gift. So when I'm living my gift purpose, that's when I'm a success. Yeah. So take away the money, take away the fame, take away the whatever. I wake up and I do that. And I think that's the big lesson for me of confirmation that how true Chadwick's life was.
And
It's
it probably makes
powerful.
you happy too. I hope that we've, because as I said, we went in undercooked today on purpose, really, to just talk, to do a different. I didn't want it to be. I don't want people to know what they're going to get when they see this, and I know that there are people upset probably that we didn't do Jacob Blake and all of that. But you know, I'm sad to tell you that that probably isn't going to be the last one. But to get Curtis to tell that story, to Angie to talk about her dad, then that's special.
Don't
for
do that
me.
again. Don't do that again.
I know. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. God bless you for doing it though, and for going there. Honestly, I haven't seen those videos because I know that people in grief isn't something that we should necessarily watch and celebrate and become salacious, because it has an impact, right? But just know that in you telling your story of your love for your father, that there are people looking at it who respect it, and I respect it for what you did. So Angie, thank you very much. God bless you, my darling, and God bless. It's the end of this cycle, but we are going to be back next week. So we've got all sorts of stories to tell, but there's no time to tell it.
We're coming back this week. You never said to me.
Yeah, well, I'll phone you. I'll phone you.
Oh,
let your hair breathe now. Look at you. You look gorgeous today. Did David tell you that you look gorgeous today?
Always.
Bye-bye. God bless. Take it easy. Curtis, thank you for sharing that. I know you don't like going there. We know that. I think we find out a little more. You're like an onion. Every week we peel away just a little bit, and I can see you fighting it. But I think we paid tribute to that brother today, don't you?
Yeah, definitely, man. And rest in eternal peace.
I'm going to see you tomorrow. We're going to be enjoying the virtual Mastermind Carnival.
The legendary mastermind.com. Go on Zoom. He'll be there. We'll be there from, I think, 12 o'clock all the way till 9 o'clock. If you're missing Carnival, check it out. The legendary mastermind.com.
God bless you, mate. Take it easy.
You too, brothers. Take care.
All right, then. So, listen, thank you very much. As I say, a bit different this week. There were all sorts of things that we wanted to do. As I say, it's the end of the cycle. Gillian, Jill, thank you so much from Travel Counselors. If you haven't logged on to follow her page, these are difficult times. Trinidad is back in lockdown. Jamaica, if you're Jamaican, good luck with those elections which are coming up in the next few days. It's Carnival weekend. We barely mentioned that, but you can catch me, Curtis, and Robbie tomorrow alongside Fifth Avenue with Ray Spoon, Mastermind himself. All sorts of people are going to be online. So the legendary mastermind.com. Special thank you to the boss this week. Appreciate it. Please look after yourself, because people make plans and God laughs. Tomorrow is promised to no one. Look after yourself. God bless you. Take it easy. Bye-bye.